Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren. Heute sind wir wieder da. Okay, we are here again, and this time we want to talk about irregular verb. We have been talking about verbs, and verbs are very, very important in the German language. And then we have already talked about the regular verbs. The regular verbs, what do I mean by that? How are they conjugated? We have done that. Today we are going to start with the irregular. Irregular. Now just to remind you some things, most of the verb in German end with or is made up of stem and ending. So there are two parts. There is the stem, there is the ending. And when you want to conjugate a verb, you take away the ending, and then you have the stem, and then you now hang the endings to the stem depending on the personal pronoun. However, when we talk about irregular verb, we are talking about verbs that are not regular in their conjugation. When it comes to their conjugation, there are things that are not regular. That's what we want to explain now. Actually, when you want to conjugate irregular verb, there will be changes in the stem vowels. Remember, there will be the stem, there is the ending. And in the process of conjugating, there will be changes in the stem vowels. And these changes are actually in 4 groups. I'm going to take it one by one so that we'll be able to see how the changes occur. Now, vowels in the second and third person singular change. That means in the process of conjugating, we have the first person singular, second person singular, third person singular, first person plural, second person plural, third person plural. Okay, so concerning the personal pronoun, what is important under the irregular verb is the stem vowel will change. And where will the stem vowel change? It will change under the second and the third person singular. Third and second person, or second and third person singular. So then I told you there are 4 categories of these irregular verb, or these kind of changes. And the first one is the A in the stem of the verb. When you are conjugating it, we change to A with umlaut, and that pronunciation is now E. So repeat after me. A, E. That's the first category of the change. The A changes to E in the second and third person singular. Okay, let's go on. Then the second one, this one now, the AU changes to AU, but then the A we have umlaut on it. So we have this one, AU, changes to EU, or AU changes to EU. That's the second category. We're still going to do practical side so that you understand. Then the third one, A changes to EA. And where is it going to change? Where will the changes be manifesting? It will manifest in the second and the third person singular. And then that's the third one. And then the fourth one is A changes to E. A changes to E. Where? In the second and in the third person singular. And then we have an example. The example is fahren, to drive. Fahren. This is a verb which means to drive. Now, if we want to conjugate it, the formula is we take away the en ending, and then we have the stem. So now we start with the stem. We now go to the conjugation, and then we have the first one is ich fahre. Remember, the E is added. We have it here. Du fährst. Something has happened here now. Du fährst. Remember, this is the stem, but the A of the stem has changed to A under the second person singular. So we have du fährst. So this is the A. It has changed to A. So we have fährst. And then the third one, fährt. Of course, you see the A again. It has changed from A, or from A, German, A. It has changed to A. And then we have wir fahren, ihr fährt, and then sie fahren. Okay, so we're going to repeat it together now. Ich fahre, du fährst, fährt, wir fahren, ihr fahrt, sie fahren. Okay? So, what is important in this is this verb is an irregular verb, and just as we have said here, it has its own peculiarity. You're not just going to be adding the ending, but you remember the peculiarity of this irregular verb. And once you see the A here in the stem of this irregular verb, that A will change to A with umlaut, or that A will change to A. So just as we have it here, but not in every, not under all the personal pronoun. The changes will only happen when we are talking about, or when we are conjugating second and third person singular. So we'll go back to the verb again. Please note it very well. I'm going to pronounce it now. You pronounce after me. Ich fahre, du fährst, fährt, wir fahren, ihr fahrt, sie fahren. Now, before we go on, I want to show you that, of course, this is the third person singular. And with the third person singular, of course, you know, we have we also have, of course, we have we have sie, we have s. Okay? So, let me write it clearly. And then we have s. So, we have these three, z, s. So, this is just representing them. Okay, now, what has happened here will also happen in the following verbs. That is the way we have conjugated this verb fahren. The same way we are going to conjugate these other verbs. Before I tell you those other verbs, I want you to know these irregular verbs, or these changes in the vowel, is just, it occurs in not too many verbs, just in only very few verbs. Okay, then I take you up here, and these other verbs are conjugated exactly the way fahren is conjugated. Number one, schlagen. Say it after me. Schlagen. Backen. Backen. Fangen. Fangen. Waschen. Waschen. Tragen. Tragen. Schlafen, schlafen, lassen, lassen. Okay, now the way this fahren is conjugated, the same way, that is, you take note of the changes in the stem vowel, the same way these verbs will be conjugated. So you can just, the important thing is you know the meaning of this, and once you have known the meaning, you just conjugate them, and once you conjugate them, then you can use them in sentences, and off you go. You only need to know that this verb fahren is an irregular verb. So I give, let's just try with the first one, schlagen. Schlagen means to beat. Schlagen, schlagen. Okay, now the first one will be, of course, let's just follow the formula. This is schlagen. Remember the formula, you remove the en, and then you now put the personal pronoun in front of the stem, and the The first one will be, of course, ich schlage. And then, remember, the formula for this irregular verb, the vowels will change in the second and third person singular. There will be a change. So, you can now guess with me what that conjugation will look like. So, we have ich schlage, we had the I, the initial I for ich. Du schlägst. And then remember the third one, schlägt. And then the next one, wir schlagen, ihr schlagt. And then we have the last one, sie schlagen. So that's just an example. The same thing happens to every other one. Remember, we have that same a here, and then a. Okay, so I want you to just observe this rule now and conjugate all these verbs. Okay? The first one is schlagen, to beat. The second one is backen, to bake. The third one is fangen, to receive or to catch. And then the next one is waschen, to wash. The next one is tragen, to carry. The next one is schlafen, to sleep. And the next one is lassen, to leave or to let. Okay, so in the light of the instruction given and the changes in the stem vowel, I want you to relax. Conjugate this one now. I'll meet you in the next video. Danke und bis bald.